Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's lecture, we will study an important topic that is business environment. Okay, so in this video, we will cover the following content and the following topics like meaning of business, concept of business, meaning of business environment's nature, significance, etc., and why understanding the business environment is important. So let's get begin. First, let us understand what is business. Business refers to all profit seeking economic activities that are carried out to convert resources like land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship into goods and services for customers. In simple words, business involves producing or providing goods and services with the objective of earning profit. As stated by James Stephenson, economic activities performed for earning profits are termed as business. Okay, so here's the examples of business activities include manufacturing goods, trading activities, providing services like banking, transport, education, etc. Move to the next topic, that is concept of business. Broadly, there are two concepts of business, that is traditional concept of business and modern concept of business. Let us understand them one by one. Firstly, we have the traditional concept of business. According to the traditional concept, the main motive of business is profit maximization. Here is the key points. Profit is the primary objective under this concept. Business activities like production and marketing are means to earn profit. Focus is mainly on products and sales, not customers. Okay, so under this concept, earn maximum profit, that is business success. Come to the next concept, that is modern concept of business. According to the modern concept, customer satisfaction is the central focus of business. Under these, profit is important but not the only goal. Okay, customer satisfaction leads to long term profit, and business must follow social responsibility. They have to create and retain customers is the real purpose under this concept. Okay, so Peter F. Drucker rightly said there is only one valid definition of business purpose: to create a customer. So today's successful businesses focus on quality, care for society and environment, earn profit by serving customers well. Okay, so this is what is a business really. Its purpose has evolved under traditional concept and under the modern concept. Move to the next topic. Now let us understand the main topic, business environment. Business environment refers to all internal and external factors that affect the functioning of a business enterprise. These factors include conditions, events, forces, influences, which surround and impact business decisions. In simple words, business does not operate in isolation. It operates within an environment. Okay, move to the next slide. Here is a beautiful quote that the environment rewards the aware and punishes the ignorant. This statement means businesses that understand and adapt to environmental changes that succeed, while those that ignore them fail. Here is the example of two companies. First one is the Aware Geo. Okay, Reliance identified the need for affordable internet, entered into telecom sector and disrupted the entire industry, and they became highly successful. On the other hand, the ignorant, that is Kodak. Okay, they invent the they invented the digital camera and failed to adapt to digital change, and they stuck to film businesses, filed for bankruptcy. So here is the example of two companies. One is the Aware and the second one is the Ignorant. So the Awares are the rewardees and the ignorant are the punishable. Now come to the next topic, that is the nature of the business environment. To understand the business environment, we must first look at its fundamental characteristics. It is defined by four key traits. First one is dynamic. The environment is in a state of constant flux, driven by the changing consumers' taste, evolving technology, and shifting government policies. Second one is uncertain. It is incredibly difficult to predict future events. Sudden global shift, such as the Russia Ukraine conflict, can cause unforeseen disruptions to energy supplies and business strategies. Okay, come to the third point, that is complex. The environment consists of a web of interrelated forces. For instance, a minor change in government tax incentives can result in a massive impact on the businesses that have committed to large capital investments. Okay, last but not the least, that is interrelated. Factors do not exist in isolation. A change in one area affect others. For example, a change in government often leads to subsequent shift in economic and foreign policy. Okay, so these are the these are some points which define the nature of the business environment. Now come to the next point, that is the significance in policy and decision making. Understanding these surroundings is critical for leadership because it directly influences economic policy formulation and impact everyday business decision making. Recognizing environmental trends allow a firm to shape its competitive advantage, ensure compliance and maintain legal awareness, focus on sustainability and long term growth, and receive guidance for making sound investment decisions. Okay, so these are the significance of business environment in economic policy formulation and decision making. Now come to the next point, that is the types of business environment. The business environment is broadly divided into two categories: internal and external. The external environment is further broken down into micro and macro environment. Very first, we have started with the internal environment, which is also called the controllable core. Why it is also called controllable core? Because the business has a significant degree of control over them. Okay, the internal environment consists of elements within the organization itself. While these are influenced by the outside world, the business maintains a significant degree of control over them. Here is the some key factors include, like first one is value system, the belief and leadership philosophy of the founders. Second is the mission and objectives, the firm's intended future position and purpose. Third is organizational structure, the hierarchy and management pattern of the board. Next, like human resources, the skills and commitment level of employees. Physical resources and technology, like the tangible assets and technical capabilities of the firm. Okay, one more, that is brand equity, the corporate image and brand strength that attract investors and customers. So here is some of the key factors of internal environment which affect the business. Now move to the next, that is the micro environment. As we have discussed previous, that there is a two type of business mainly, that is internal and external. And external environment are further subdivided into two parts, that is micro environment and macro environment. So here first is the micro environment which is also called the sphere of influence, often referred to as the task environment. This includes actors in the company's immediate vicinity. A business can influence these forces, but it cannot fully control them. Okay, so these includes like customers, which consider the kings of the market nowadays, and their satisfaction is vital for survival, as we have discussed in the previous, that today is the modern concept focus on the customer satisfaction. Okay, so second one is suppliers. Who are the suppliers? Reliable supply chains are crucial. Some firms use backward integration to ensure this. Okay, which is also affect the businesses, which also affect the business. Third one is the competitors. Firms must be aware of rival actions to build effective counter strategies. Okay. Next one is the public. Groups such as the media and the environmentalist who have an interest in the business, they also affect the business decisions. Okay, so this is the micro environment. Now come to the next, that is the macro environment, which is called uncontrollable forces. Okay, so these are the broad forces that shape the entire business landscape. They are large, they are largely uncontrollable, and an enterprise must adjust its operations to function within this framework. Okay, so these forces create both opportunities and threats. Okay, for the business, and these include like economic, political, legal, and socio-cultural factors. Another one is demographic, technological, and natural physical factors. One more also, that is international and global influences, which affect the business at a large, and these are the uncontrollable factors. Okay, so these are the types of business environment. Now move to the next slide, that is awareness. Why environmental awareness matters? So in the world of business, staying still is the fastest way to fall behind. Yeah, to survive, succeed, and lead, a company must perform a thorough environmental analysis. This isn't just a theoretical exercise, it is a strategic advantage that allows a business to stay ahead of the curve. Okay, so by studying the environment, organizations can, first one is formulate strategy, use relevant information to build long term policies, such as how ITC diversified from cigarettes into FMCG, hotels, and paper boats. Okay, next one is like drive innovation. Companies like Tesla have used their understanding of technological shift to lead the EV sector. Third one is anticipate risk. This allows for contingency planning. For example, Tata Steel diversified its raw material sourcing to mitigate geopolitical tensions also. Yeah. Next one is grasp opportunities. Identify needs before competitors do, such as Baiju's expanded Baiju's expanding its online education offering during the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay. Next one is analyze competitors. Knowing a rival's strategies, Knowing a rival's strategy helps a firm formulate effective counter strategies. Okay. So these are the some reasons that why environmental awareness matters, and a strategic advantage for business. Okay, come to the next point, that is deep dive, a snapshot of India's business environment. When we look at India specifically, we see a dynamic landscape that has transformed from a closed, controlled economy before 1991 to a liberalized one with reduced bureaucratic hurdles. Okay, so key data points that define the current Indian market include rapid economic growth. According to the IMF's April 2023 outlook, India is the fastest growing major economy in the world. It has a robust GDP growth outlook of 6 approx 6.2% for 2025. Okay. Second one is like rising prosperity. The projected per capita net national income for 24-25 is 2,05,324, indicating a consistent upward trend in consumer spending power. Okay. Third one, like sector dominance. The service sector is the primary driver of the economy, contributing nearly 55% to India's GDP. Okay. Next is like global manufacturing hub. Through initiatives like Make in India and a large labor force, the country is emerging as a premier destination for global manufacturing. So here is the a glimpse of India's business environment. Okay, move to the next slide. That is the future's path, the ultimate choice: respond to change or drive it. Okay, the path to the future requires a choice. Do you wait for change to happen to you, or do you drive it to yourself? Okay, the driver success. Reliance Jio, as we have also discussed in our previous slides, which is also called the Aware. Yeah, so Reliance Jio identified a vast unmet need for data and built a business specifically to serve it. By converting an environmental opportunity into reality, they achieved market leadership, as we all know that. Okay, Reliance Jio. Second is the responder, which is called failure. Failure to realize environmental threats can be fatal. Jet Airways failed to compete with the rise of low cost airlines, while Kodak famously failed to embrace the digital world. Both were ultimately consumed by the very changes they ignored. Okay, okay. So that's all for today's lecture. We will conclude our lecture with a quote that business is a subset of the environment, not the other way around. You can't have a healthy economy, you can't have a healthy anything in a degraded environment. Okay, to sum up, business environment plays a crucial role in the business success. Understanding environment helps in better decision making, and modern businesses focus on customer satisfaction and social responsibility, and awareness of environment leads to growth and survival. Okay, so that's all for today's lecture. Thank you so much for watching.